Thank you for still being with us at what has been a really long day, but I think for us, a really exciting day. And this is our closing session before another round of drinks outside. But what we want to do in this closing session is we've now looked back at what we have done. We now want to look into the future, what we're going to do, and talk a little bit more about the products that have come out of this process, and we're trying to recruit you to come with us in the future too. So I've already told you about this definition. You've heard it now several times. Where you will find this too is a white paper we have written, which will be published tonight, but we will actually send that to you in an email to all of you that summarizes the collaboration, how we have worked, but also how we've come up with this definition. And I think one of the important things that I've taken away again from this day, and what's different about the collaboration's approach to AI and responsible AI and social care to other approaches, is that we started off with what does good quality care look like? What does it mean to people independent from AI and technology? And then how does AI and wider technology fit into that in order to make good quality care happen? Rather than let's take a problem, for example, skills staff shortages, and let's replace it with AI, for example, or even an outcome by saying, oh, we want to make something more efficient, we want to make care more efficient, how can AI do that? So we've gone away from those approaches and we've taken that, let's go back to the roots of what we're actually trying to achieve. And that's what this definition is based on. That white paper summarizes everything we've done. It's got a link to all the different documents that have been part of this process, and is something that we will be sending to you. I will now hand over to Cate, who will talk you through the guidance which we've published today.
Thanks, Caroline. Thank you, everybody. So I'm not going to go through the whole of the guidance. We've got 12 different domains in it. I think the thing really to bear in mind with this work is it's been a really, really good piece of collaboration between lots of different groups. Some people may wish it would go further and may be quite angry that some of the things aren't in there. Others may think it's a little bit too strict. But that's where we've come to as a consensus. And again, I'd like to really thank Cate Jopling as well for pulling all of this together for us. I don't know where you've gone, but hello. There we go. Thanks, Cate. You've been fantastic. So basically, the AI guidance has been structured to be used by anybody working or using social care. So you've got I statements for people who draw on care and support and people who work in social care. So that could be a formal care worker, informal care worker, social worker, occupational therapist, nurse. If you are in a direct caregiving role, that's for you there. And then we statements for providers of care and for technology providers to really be thinking through against each of these domains what you can be committing to. So the example one that we have here is improving care and support, but I mentioned there is 12 domains. So we also have ones around choice and control, accessibility, training, data privacy, transparency, accountability, human contact and connection, addressing bias and avoiding discrimination, continuous improvement, co-production, and sustainable technologies, in no particular order. That's just the way I read them out. This will be sent out to you and to digest and to read through in your own time. We really hope that you will agree with what we said or want to use them in your own work. And if anybody does need hard copy versions of these, I don't have any now because we finalized it about midnight last night, but we will be happy to get those to you at a later date. And I'm going to now pass to Daniel.
Thank you, Cate. And one of the main things we've actually been working on is this calls to action. We didn't do anything without saying we need to act on this. We're not going to stop here. One of the best phrases I've heard over the past year since I've been working on this is we haven't come this far just to come this far. I'm not sure if people have heard that. It's a bit of a cliche now, but it's really what drives me and us in the way we're developing. So. So what we want to do is these calls to action. So these are for you to take on board, and you to stress and emphasize with people that you're working with, being what position, being power, being the department. But we want you to take these forward. The first one is on the use of the I and we statements that Katie's just talked about now, is to judge, I will use the word judge, but to look at the actions you're taking against the I and we statements. Are you fulfilling what's in there as care providers, as social care workers, as tech providers, and as people in receipt of care and support, people drawing on care and support? Is the care you're getting being true to these actions? So that's the first one. The I and we statements. Take those forward. What we've done, the second one, coming to this, is what we started on this process is let's carry on this process of collaboratively working on this. Co-production being in almost an unnecessary word because it's at the heart of what we do now. So what some people said success would be if we didn't actually talk about co-production, it was the natural way of going forward. So to continue to work, every one of us in this room, and we'll talk about how you do that, working collaboratively to continue the work on key issues in AI, generative AI and social care, with a focus on ethics and responsibility. Katie, would you like to take the next one forward, please?
Yes, so we then also call on UK governments to work with UK regulators, both care regulators and other forms of regulation, to develop appropriate regulatory and accountability structures to govern the use of generative AI in social care. I think we've heard a lot today that regulation doesn't need to be a barrier to innovation, but we all do need to have some clear guidelines and guardrails of where we are working in this space. And we really hope that the I and we statements will be a really clear foundation for where regulation can develop, much in the same way as making it real became a foundation for the CQC single assessment framework. So that's what we're calling for. And similarly, in terms of calls, I've got all the UK government calls, UK governments to take a lead in developing and maturing the infrastructure for innovation and entrepreneurship in social care in partnership with other key stakeholders, including local authorities. I think we've heard a lot, in particular from care workers, but from other people in the sector, that there needs to be resource and infrastructure and support, and that needs to come from a national level to really make sure we're making the most of emerging technologies.
It was really important that came out again yesterday too, and how much we want the government to be involved in here, whether it's central government or local authorities. So the Department of Health and Social Care, to ensure that its promised national standards around the use of technology in social care are ethically informed and aligned with existing legal frameworks, including human rights and equality law and the wellbeing principle established in the Care Act 2014. And quite often, I've also heard that today, where people came up to me and said, usually in my line of work, I don't really think about ethics. I don't really get the time because I'm too busy developing something, or because I'm too busy to provide a service or so. And so it was really great to have a day to actually think and reflect on what ethical AI means and how we can build that into the life cycle of AI into wider society and care provision. So you've already seen this, was it QR code for the guidance and the call to action. But again, we will be sending out those to you in the next few days, together with the white paper, and a link also to sign up to these calls for action, because we want this to be endorsed by as many people as possible. So this is an extension of the Oxford statement that came out. No, it's not an extension, it's something new, because I think this 1 year has now come to an end, and now we're a bigger group of people. We've learned a lot, we've reflected on this together, and so this is now something new, and it's the start to something new. And to now close off the next 5 minutes, I just want to announce that we as a group want to now start an alliance where all the different work streams, because we know that our work stream hasn't been the only one looking at this topic, right? Whether it's generative AI or AI in social care. Of course not, it's such an important topic. But we truly believe that coming together and making sure that we pull on one string here makes us stronger. Because what we do not want to see is a fragmentation of different ethical frameworks, of different good practice understanding, because then again, how are people going to feel empowered to use this technology? So we now want to create an alliance where we all come together, these different work streams, where individuals, organizations, anybody who wants to join works together with us, and where we find a governance structure that is democratic and not led by one organization, but maybe rotating. But this is something that we can co-produce. So we will send out, together with that long email that you can read when you go home, a link where you can sign up not only to the call to action if you want to endorse it, but also to tell us that you want to be part of that alliance. And we will, of course, actively go out and also draw people in. I've also just heard this really nice, one of the main funders was here today, the Kraft Foundation. They've just said that they want to give us more money to get the alliance off the ground, continue some of this work. And we'll be trying to draw in other organizations too. And we've had interest from various funders who want to support this work. So that's really great. In the beginning, I briefly mentioned the Accelerator Fellowship Program. So as my role as Director of Research at the Institute for Ethics in AI, I lead on a program called the Accelerator Fellowship Program. This program is a 5-year program, which is all about finding directions and solutions to some of the most pressing ethical issues in AI by drawing in people from different sectors, from around the world, from different backgrounds, to work together on these issues. And so today we had this international panel, but we can all agree, so the people I work with on this program, we can all agree that AI in care is a pressing ethical global issue. So again, we now have a platform here at the University of Oxford and the Institute for Ethics in AI to continue some of that really important work also on an international level. And you've met some of the collaborators already here today with Samir, with Christopher, with Sylvia. So that's really great, because what this means is that today is an end to something, but it's the beginning to something much bigger, and you've all been part of it. That brings me to the thank yous. So first of all, I really want to thank my team, Petra Fitzgerald, Christina Bratu, Jacqueline Wright, Mary Watson, then also Iris Steen, and many others who've really been so central from an administrative point of view and organizational point of view to make this happen. I also really want to thank Rhodes House and the team here, the catering team, everyone who's been here. I want to thank Karen Horton, who's helping us to capture some of the, hopefully, the impact we will have had with this process, but with this event too, with our photographers, with the person who will make a film for us so that we can share with the world what we have done today. And otherwise, there's so many people I would like to thank. Jane Townsend, Donovan McCaskill, so many people are here today, Kate Hamblin, Kate Chopling, everyone who's been involved, Peter Zane, and we will have as part of the, sorry, is there? Yes, Ian McCreath, of course. I mean, there's so many people here I would like to thank by name, but we're going to have a long list of acknowledgements where everybody will have their name on there and the organization, because I think that's just really important to acknowledge everyone's hard work in this process. But yeah, so I really hope I've not forgotten any important thank yous, but I want to hand over to you briefly to also just say a few final words. That was it for me.
Very briefly, I think I just want to reiterate a huge thank you to all of you here. This has been a really, really special piece of work to see people from all parts of the sector coming together in this way. I've been in social care and digital transformation for over a decade now, and I don't think I've ever seen so many different people from all parts of the world now who've been dragged into this, kind of coming together with a common purpose to really try and do good on a meaningful and large scale. So thank you so much, everybody. You didn't tell people that.
These two know that I always like to have the last word. So, being true to form, some of us gathered across the road a year ago, and many of us wondered, what was this all about? But what we witnessed there was the start of something which has come to the stage that we're at today. That was not by accident. It was because of the professional dedication, the energy, the enthusiasm, and the sheer nerve of these three people. And whilst everybody in this room and many of us have contributed in very different ways, it would not have happened, it would not have been maintained, and we would not be where we are today without these three. So please thank them.
Thank you. Actually, it's quite powerful to have the three of us on stage. It's the first time we've been on stage together, so it's quite powerful. It actually feels very powerful to be here. All to say now is thank you very much, Donald. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for lasting with us, and we hope to see you all upstairs for a drink.
Yeah.
So please do join us upstairs. Thank you very much, everyone.
Journey home.